Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Right,
Good
friends,
stuff.
we're on the internet, we're live, and it's D&D time. It's your favorite Monday night Dungeons & Dragons crew. I'm Wily Hobbit. Welcome to Mysteries in the Dalelands, episode 20. Hard to believe this is our 20th episode, but yet it is. So let's go around the table and introduce our characters. Ladies first, Ronvin, tell us a little bit about your character that you're playing.
Hi, I'm Vivi. I'm playing Ronvin. Ronvin is an artificer. She is still kind of a baby, very, very naive, and she's just slowly figuring out, that she doesn't know that she's an Asimar, and she's just slowly getting, an idea that there's something not really all human about her. So we'll see how that plays out.
Fair enough. All right, Gears.
Hey, I'm Dave. I'm playing Gears, the Warforged fighter, battle master, and sometimes partner in arms with Ronvin, who has her power armor, and has armored up Gears as well with a little boost to the AC at the armor class. So we're good to go. We've got a necromantics chalice to deal with, and I'm sure everything will go real well.
Everything will be fine. All right, Algernon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Manny, Accurate Up Geek on social medias, and today I am playing Algernon Altano, a foreign study abroad program gone horribly awry. Kid just wanted to go learn somewhere else, and we're digging in holes, no zombies. I mean, yeah, he's book smart, not street smart. It's not what he didn't want to go experience. He wanted to read.
Now look at you. All right.
Yeah, right? In a hole.
Deep hole. Deep hole. Fragile.
Yeah, I am Fragile Jamkasi. I am the Raven Queen's favorite daughter. I'm a Hexblade Warlock. And you know what? I down here having some fun, chasing adventure, just gathering memories and emotions to share with my mistress.
Very well. Last but not least, Rue.
Hey everyone, I am Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables, and tonight I am playing Rue Shahar, your friendly neighborhood rogue who, fun fact about him, his nickname in high school was Box Toucher.
Will this be on the quiz later?
I mean, I can't go on with that hanging out there. You going to tell us why?
Will we get in trouble? We're going to get in legal trouble, aren't we?
We talked last week about attacking the Box Toucher, and I just, never mind. Dumb joke.
And not with us this evening is Miss Calavera. She's unable to join us, so if needed, I will pilot our Fire Genasi Grave Domain Cleric, if needed. But we rarely do things on this game, so
we won't need any healing.
We won't need anything. DM 221532. What's up, David? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. All right, so gosh, last session, which was last week. Where's this 2 weeks in a row? We're on a roll. The party is in search of zombie gnomes. They are hot on the trail. Actually, it's a kind of a cold trail, but they are on the trail, trying to find out where they came from. And the suspicion is that they have come from this long-lost, centuries-old rock gnome enclave known as Violet Falls. And so these zombie gnomes had attacked the Deep Delvers Enclave, and the party has been tasked with finding out what the heck happened with that. Why did this happen? Where did they come from? So on and so forth. And so they've been making their way toward Violet Falls, following this trail of ichor that the zombies are known to leave behind. When they drag ichor-covered body parts along the stone corridors far in the underdeep of Black Claw Mountain, they leave a trail of yuck. And so the party's been tracking them, and they were most recently surprised by a pair of Umber Hulks, and then they had a situation with some fire snakes. The party, ill-advised, but they decided to bed down in a cavern that shared a wall with a den of fire snakes. Not sure why.
Definitely weren't reassured that it was completely safe.
It was totally safe, yeah. It looked totally safe until the fire snakes came. And then most recently, they found a chamber, a cavern that had been revealed by the excavation work of these zombie gnomes as they excavated their way up to Deep Delver's Enclave. And that's where we're going to pick up our story. You see, the party snuck in there, and there was this ring of skeletal warriors, almost like skeletal knights, pretty wild. And the knights were all facing inward in this circle, and they were all standing around a stone coffer. The object of interest, of course, like, why are all these skeletons looking at this coffer? And so the rogue, unable to help himself, I suppose, snuck in there and tried to pry the coffer open with his blade, thusly activating the skeletal warriors, and it was game on. So the party dispatched them, and now we are curious as to what is in the coffer. The mage had cast Identify, and they flipped the lid open just briefly and noted that there was some necromantic magic emanating from within the coffer that wasn't emanating outside the coffer when they first cast Identify. And it wasn't Identify, it was Detect Magic, sorry. Then the mage sent his familiar and a mage hand in to...
When we did detect magic, Wiley, did we detect magic from the skeletons?
No.
Double checking.
So at any rate, the mage sent his mage hand and his familiar in to lift the lid, and they pull the lid up, and there's, much to everyone's, I don't know if surprise, dismay, not sure what, but there's a chalice, a goblet of hammered brass covered in runes, laying in this stone coffer. In, like, it's almost like it was form fitted for the chalice, with padding and everything. And so the party is kind of huddled. I believe the mage is in the doorway. Everyone's kind of behind the mage because, that's what you do when you're dungeoneering. You get behind the mage. Delphi, the kitty cat familiar, is in there with the mage hand, and that's where we are. So what would you like to do?
All right. So we mage handed open. Delphi's standing like right there to look at it when the mage hand flips open the lid. Does Delphi have any kind of like adverse reaction? Like I don't know if a familiar would freak out at the sight of like a necromantic thing of dread in front of it, or if he's just kind of going meow.
I don't think he would have a reaction.
Okay.
Yeah. It's it's been imbued with magic from the school of necromancy, but it isn't like a sentient evil thing. At least it doesn't seem like one.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna mage hand pick it up.
Okay.
Back out, keeping it at its like 30 feet away from me. And I'm going to back up so that it comes with me out of the room and just kind of put it on the ground and push everybody else back. Because we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And just be very careful. I do not know what this is, but it seems to be okay to at least handle. And then I'm going to summon Delphi back.
Okay, that's fair.
And
yes.
Fragile,
Go ahead.
Fragile probably won't back up. She'll probably stay in the door. She won't grab it out of the air or anything, but she'll probably try and take a close look as it's making its way past her and see what she can see on it.
Okay. So it's a hammered brass chalice. Looks to be, handcrafted, hand hammered. Probably stands about, 10 inches tall when you sit it on the ground. Has a stem and then the bowl. And it's quite plain, other than it's looks like it might have used to be polished. It's been in this coffer for goodness knows how long, so it's lost its luster a little bit. It has runes, glyphs on it.
I'm going to go ahead and sit down and start doing an identify ritual, just to make sure it's not anything that we shouldn't be picking up to go with the cursed dagger that maybe we shouldn't be holding on to. But hey, why not? One cursed thing, why not two?
Seems reasonable. So you're going to take 10 minutes to cast Ritual Cast Identify?
It's going to be 11, but yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 10 minutes plus the
While
1
he's
minute.
doing that, I won't touch it, but I'm gonna try and see if I recognize any of the runes or language or anything.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I think I'm just gonna go sit somewhere nearby and start to take a short rest. If I finish, I finish. If not,
Okay.
I rested for 10 minutes.
And if you die in the process, well, you don't have to
Usual
worry about it.
stand guard.
Okay.
Rest.
I think Calavera will be interested, kind of peeking, looking, that sort of thing. Not touching. Ronvin, what will you be doing?
I'm thinking that she would back up a little, but not so far that she can't see anymore because she's curious too. She just doesn't want to be in the blast radius.
Blast radius, I love it. So careful. I mean, you all act like I'd do something to hurt you or something. Gosh, I'm your friend. Trust me.
What's your mug look like today, buddy?
It's the same one. Can't seem to find it. That's a little concerning, but it'll turn up. I think someone has hidden it.
We definitely didn't send anyone to steal it from you.
Totally cool.
Definitely not.
It wasn't the rogue.
Totally wasn't the rogue, yeah. So, Fragile, what languages do you speak?
I speak and I can read Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
Okay. Yeah, you can't make out the glyphs or the runes other than you see, as I'm picturing you all kind of walking around it, trying to see all sides of it, see down into it, look at it. There is one thing that you recognize etched upon the surface a few places, and it's that symbol that you saw chiseled into the top of the stone coffer, the many-pointed star with the 9 symbols around it that I described last time. That's stamped or etched upon the surface of the chalice in a few places. And there are other glyphs and runes.
So is that really all that I noticed about it? That I would recognize.
Absolutely correct. Yep.
Well, the others are doing what they're doing. I'm gonna go and inspect the rest of the inside of that building.
Okay.
And see if there's anything else that might be related to it.
Yeah, you've got the dozen skeletal warriors that are in various states of brokenness from your battle. They were wearing, bits of leather armor. Much of it has rotted or dried and crumbled away. Roll a perception.
Need some light. That is a 11 on the die, and that's an 11 period.
Okay. Yeah, you see they have the short swords. They all appear to be humanoid skeletons, human height. There isn't really anything else in there. There's the stone coffer that is now open, and it has a black kind of a velvety cloth material inside. You do see that it appears that coffer, as you look at the down onto it, you get kind of a cross section of the walls, because the lid is flipped open, and you see there's a good inch of stone, and then a thickness of what looks like some kind of metal, and then there's the cloth. So it looked to be quite well insulated. Quite a thick box, coffer.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Is there a handle on it?
It just keeps the rain out. No handle, just a smooth stone coffer.
Well, I'm gonna grab by the lid and I'm gonna drag it outside in case we need to throw this thing back in.
Okay. So those of you that are, studiously checking out this chalice or sitting in the dark, thinking, ruminating, all of a sudden you hear this grating as Fragile drags this heavy stone coffer out into the hallway. Did you ever see Men in Black? When Will Smith goes in to take the interview and the test, and he pulls the metal chair. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh, nice.
Doesn't echo at
Super
all.
awkward. Got it.
It's almost like knocking a suit of dwarven chainmail down a well. Kind of that kind of loud.
Ooh, of a toque.
Yeah, full of a toque.
I'm looking for cave trolls.
It sounds oddly specific, like an inside joke.
Okay, Manny, Elgernon.
Uh-oh.
What does it look like when you ritual cast identify? I'm just curious. We've never really had a glimpse into your more serious casting machinations.
So I would imagine, I don't know, based on what it does, kind of identify magic, but a little more like specific, I would say. If I picture identify magic as each school having its own color, kind of the same theme, but like I said, just a lot more specific that would encode me to mean a purple this means that kind of a thing.
Okay. What color does the school of necromancy appear in your mind or in your eyes?
That's going to be dark purple.
Dark purple. Almost like deep purple. Yeah.
Yeah. Prince, Joker, all that.
Yeah. Nice. Gravedigger. The monster truck. Yeah. Okay, so you go through your ritual and the hair almost stands up on your arms. You feel so full of arcane energy, more so than maybe normal. It's exhilarating. You are in the mage zone. And you focus on this chalice. And what languages do you speak
Oh, shit, dude.
and read?
Quite a few. Actually, damn it. Common, Deep Speech, Draconic, and Dwarvish.
Okay. So no real recognition of the glyphs or runes. But this is kind of a unique chalice. Its bearer, it's to whom it is attuned, can use it with a kind of a key phrase, right? An activation phrase. Can use it to cast inflict wounds twice per day.
Ooh.
And you know inflict. You know inflict wounds to be a spell in the school of necromancy.
Would my identify also be aware if there was a catch to all of this? I feel, necromancy they don't just let you do that willy-nilly.
You feel like there's an attribute to this thing that once you become attuned to it, It's going to give you some, I don't want to say visions, but dreams? Otherworldly dreams? You don't know if that's like access or a view into or just, whoa, trippy, but something along those lines. It definitely impacts the individual to whom it is attuned. I wouldn't call it a side effect, like it's not that severe, but you know that should you or anyone become attuned to this item, it will cause you to have some really far out dreams.
Okay, this is going to be kind of specific. And the way it just presented all of this to me, did it present it to me? Was it be presented to me specifically, Algernon? If Rue picked this up, would he see the same thing, or would his be different, kind of personalized to him?
That's what this item does for whomever attunes to it. Yeah, it's not specific to you because you're a diviner, let's say. Yeah, if anybody spent enough time meditating on this and becoming attuned to it, they would be able to use it and cast that spell 2 times daily. And they would also be given these otherworldly visions or dreams in their sleep.
I'm going to pick it up and start to attune to it. Not to be selfish, but nobody's going to know what I saw. And I'm just going to pick it up and maybe even try to play it off like this is part of the ritual. Casual about it.
So party members, that's what you see.
I expected you guys, sorry.
You see Al pick up the chalice.
Chalice with the palace.
I mean, I'm sitting there watching him. Does it seem any different? Can I tell that this is part of the ritual?
Roll me an Arcana check.
If this is not part of the ritual?
Yeah, I'd like to do that as well.
That's fair. I got a 17.
15.
I don't mean to be shitty. I was rooting against you guys.
It's okay.
Fours.
I was pretty happy with the 14. Y'all smoked me.
I get to be selfish.
Do we have a contested Arcana or Deception check from Algernon?
So anybody with a DC 15 or greater would have somehow like known through their experience that when a mage tries to identify an object and determine its magical properties and so forth, they must touch the object. So to see him hold the object after telling you he's going to perform a ritual and attempt to identify it does not shock or concern you, other than you're like, ooh, I don't know if that was good. Because you're just not sure what the chalice is. Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan would probably say, "You really want to touch this? This is such not a good idea. Remember, I had that bad dream. This might just be bad."
I'm gonna if these is this like a gradual thing? Like the second I start to attune to it, do I start to feel something, or is it once I'm done, it all hits me at once?
You feel nothing at the moment.
Okay. So I'm just sitting there awkwardly hugging this thing. If this goes bad, I'm sorry, you guys.
Fine. What could possibly go wrong?
I'd like to insight, like, to see if Fragile feels like he's acting weird, because he's not talking. He's not really. He's usually sharing what he's finding with his sense of excitement.
That's you need an hour to attune. It's a short rest period.
I'm going to short rest and try to insight and perceive my friend.
Yours doesn't care.
I just don't want him to be cursed. I don't. Out of character, I know what's going on. In character, he's just acting funny.
He's found the love of his life, and it's got curves. Everything's fine.
I don't know, man. Temptation. I haven't. Aside from Odra, I haven't like really met like a wizard, and like this appeals to me at a core level. Selfishly,
You do realize that you have two very symbolic items right now that are one's a chalice and one's a knife. Nobody's queuing in. Okay, nobody's a Wiccan here.
okay. I don't.
The chalice is the female. The dagger is the male.
Oh,
Don't ask me. I don't make up the rules.
oh, I don't know that.
Now you do.
I just, the dagger was just that I know that did bad things.
Well, now you get a cutlery set.
I mean, yeah, it's like my bridal registry.
We just need a spoon and a knife, and a fork and a plate, and we're all set.
A bowl. I'd eat out of a bowl all day if I could.
So there you have it. Al is standing in the corridor outside the chamber, holding the chalice, looking at it. Fragile has gone in to inspect and has drug out the the coffer.
Well, not having I don't have a huge value on things. It seems to me that Al really is taken with this thing. So Fragili's just kind of shrugging. So I hope when you're done ogling that thing, you'll share what you think it is with us, and she's going to go and take her short rest as well.
It appears to be a goblet that allows the user to cast a specific spell. Inflict wounds if you are familiar with the spell. It seems that aside from that, it is nothing more than almost a talisman to allow us to cast this spell. And just gonna be kind of casual about it. Just
You see Calavera's eyes kind of flicker. Oh, I know this spell. Yes, that explains the necromancy.
So it has nothing to do with the skeletons that were around it.
I would imagine it was perhaps more of a trap than something to do with magic, maybe mechanical. The opening of the box, the touching of the box.
Okay.
Yeah, Calavera kind of closes her eyes and says, "Yes, I believe the skeletons were bound to guard this item." Yes. What? She looks at Fragile. What did you see in there with the skeletons?
Oh, nothing. Just a stupid box. I drug it out in case,
Yes, you did.
it started doing stupid stuff and we needed to lock it away again.
This was a
But
good
I was
idea.
hoping I could find some clues, or I was looking on the walls to see if maybe these symbols were on the walls, and maybe there was some hidden panels, or we're dungeoneering, we're delving. I was just
Yes.
kind of hoping we'd find something big hidden secret.
Would it be all right if I went and had a look myself?
Oh, I don't care. You want some help?
Sure, please. And she goes in and begins just looking around the room, kind of touching the walls here and there. She does find a bit of breastplate from the leather armor, and it's on the floor. It's kind of torn away from whatever skeleton it was on, and she holds it up and looks at you. Oh, look at this. It's the same symbol as what's on the box. And sure enough, embossed into this leather in black is the many-pointed star with the 9 symbols around it. And look, it is on a bit of armor over here too. And she, holds up a different section of leather armor bits that also contain the breastplate area, and sure enough, it's embossed on that as well. What do you think this means?
Oh, they're somehow affiliated with it. Almost seems like they gave their life for it, gave their whole life over to protecting it. How decayed are the bodies?
Oh, they're bone. They're absolute bone. No meat, no flesh, no ick. That room was dry, cobwebby. Yeah.
So there's nothing on it. You'd think something would have found it by now. Or maybe we're the only ones stupid enough to mess with it. No religious, like you don't. This doesn't strike any kind of religious.
No, I've never
Clue to you?
I've never seen this symbol before. These little symbols. And she kind of starts pointing them out to you. There's a flame, and a black, like a monolith. Hey, look, these are fangs. Here's a black tree, a cloud. Here's a rod with the head of a dragon. Here's a head with many faces. A quill and paper. And then a faceted black gem. Very curious.
Virgilio was trying to make a religion check, but nothing.
Roll.
We're in a strange world.
Roll religion.
So she's going to ask for the Raven Queen to see if she gives her any insight into what this is. That's 19 on the die, plus 4, 23.
So you sit and kind of ruminate for a moment, maybe even holding the leather breastplate. And all you get from your prayer to the Raven Queen is that this is a symbol of great power and great evil from this place long ago.
And can I tell if that power that I'm feeling is arcane or divine in nature?
Nothing divine by her reckoning.
Okay. So, okay, that's something. I'll share that with Calavera. I'll be like, hey, I really feel like whatever this is, it is powerful, it is evil, but it's not tied to some deity. There's some kind of bad magic mojo going on here.
When Rowan Titus told us about this place, didn't he describe a star that fell to the ground here like thousands of years ago or something that was believed to start all this Grindleroot nonsense?
I feel like I should. Any of you guys remember that?
So, Wiley, I mean, I have my notes here. I can look up what Rowan Titus said. Let me know if you would like me to roll an intelligence check.
He did say that there was belief that whatever caused this mountain to have such power and such draw things to it, that they thought there are many who thought that it might have been something that crashed to Mystara millennia ago, that maybe buried somewhere deep, 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 that actually, when it impacted, it created Black Claw Mountain. There are definitely many who believe that it's something that came from, not on this world.
Now that I'm attuned to the chalice, I still feel all right. Everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, you don't feel any different, Al, than you
Okay.
would being attuned to any other item. You haven't all of a sudden gotten incredibly cranky or full of malice. You're not looking at any of your comrades thinking, I think I'll kill them today. Nothing, no bad Mugambi.
No more than usual.
Or tomorrow.
No more than usual. Maybe tomorrow.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we finished a short rest then?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Click the short rest button on your D&D Beyond character sheets. Because, yeah.
Hey, Al, do you have any objections to perhaps letting Gears carry the dagger if he'd be willing? And just hear me out. I know that you seem to have found a liking, a connection, a desire to check out this chalice, but I feel like the symbols are some kind of portent of evil. And you've already got one thing that was causing evil actions back on our world, and I just hate to see you basically be the carrier of cursed items if that happens to be what's going on.
The box the chalice was in was heavy, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had to drag it.
Okay.
Stone and lead lined.
I'd rather somebody carry that. Yes, I do not believe we can take the box realistically with us, though we perhaps should. I will let whoever carry the dagger who desires to carry its burden to have it.
Gears, I know you already carry some of our burden. I don't trust myself with a dagger. I kind of love them. I'm going to find myself playing with it.
Gears just puts their hand out.
Out of the bag into Gears' hand. I'm gonna pour a little bit of my water skin out into the chalice and sip out of it, mini Stanley cup style.
Make a poison saving throw. DC 18
Don't, you're dead.
Okay. Yours will put the dagger box in his bag.
Well, should we get moving again?
Sure.
Scott,
Could I?
How
Go ahead.
far have we traveled today?
I think it's only been a few hours.
Okay.
like since morning or whatever. Yeah.
Well, dark
Why
vision's
don't
a wasting.
I'd like to invite everyone except for Al to remove their headsets.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna overplay the. Oh, you guys can't hear me anymore.
Okay, is everybody off of there? All right. So as you're sipping your water from your chalice, you hear this guttural sound, this guttural croaky voice. Salsun kal ek kleva. Salsun kal ek kleva. And it repeats
Okay.
several times.
Okay. And that's it.
It just grooves,
that repeated
and it's
over and over again.
it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant. It's disconcerting that you're hearing this.
The voice is ominous. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it though.
It says one more thing to you.
All right.
Chaliji za deku. And then in very broken English it says, "You have the Chalice of Death. Chaliji za deku." Was it you that had all the goblins? No, that was a different character. Never mind. DM moment there. Yeah.
The answer is probably going to be no anyway, just because I'm terrified. Of
There,
what
I
that
had
would mean.
another game
No,
and another
no.
character who was from
Okay.
Chult that hung out with a lot of orcs and goblins. Okay, that's it. Everybody can come back now. Bring your ears.
All right.
Mike just checked out, man. He's like, I'm out.
I don't want to be near the screen when something dumb happens to your character.
So feel free to RP that any way you like, or not at all.
I can already tell my favorite moment of the episode tonight is going to be having watched the grin on Manny's face as Scott.
I get really nervous. Like that's how I deal with like being anxious. I'm like, just smile stupidly while bad things happen around you. So I'm gonna take like a. Was that during my like arrogant, unnecessary big sip while we were getting up to go? Is that when that happened?
It just kind of came.
Um,
You're not even sure it's related
Okay.
to the sip or not. Might have been the tail end of attunement. You know.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pour out the rest of my water. A voice it spoke to me. It said something in Goblin that I understood, and something in Goblin that I believe was translated to Common. This is apparently the Chalice of Death. So I would suggest we put it back in the box and bury it under a pile of rock.
Did tell you not to touch it.
I never listen.
No, you don't.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open the lid up and put it back in the box. And then just go wander off in the dark. Not wander off, but go away from it.
So are you putting it like, are you putting it back in the room with the skellies?
I will put it in the box wherever Fragile left it, which is when she
Kind of out
dragged
in
it
the hallway.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it back in the box. Close the lid. I do not believe this thing serves a greater purpose to us and our quest here. I say we cover it back up. Yes, we do. We have one cursed item. This one cannot be anything good.
Calavera kind of looks at you like she's really debating that.
Can I roll an insight check to see if there's something that Al's not telling us? Because that was a really sudden reversal in behavior.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you officiate that, adjudicate that. Go ahead, there, Brew.
That is a 17.
It would appear more that he has come to his senses about the thing that obviously everybody was already saying, then is trying to do something disingenuous.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that joint back in the box. I'm gonna close it up, and if, like I said, I do not believe we should just leave this out. I don't believe we should carry it with us. This box is heavy.
I mean, should we take it and destroy it somehow?
Just carry one more cursed thing to just destroy
I
it
don't
too.
know.
It's not like we got to Mount Doom.
I mean, there might be a big dumpster wherever we're going. Magic items here.
I mean, if we're gonna hopefully find something that can destroy the dagger. I have no idea. I don't know about how magic works.
Would
Tell me.
part of me wonders, is this something Ion would be interested in? Should we be like, hey, what do you give me for this? Best I could do is $20.
To be honest, you probably love it.
Al's gonna stand there for a second and contemplate the idea of potentially now taking it with him.
While Al's contemplating, Gears picks up the box, puts it back in the room in the farthest corner, and starts piling the rocks up in front of the door so that we can stop the contemplation.
Nice. Fragility's going to give you an attaboy and admire you as you do your handiwork.
Scott, the room that we found this in, is it a worked stone room?
Oh yeah, remember there's an archway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there another entrance to it, or was it just a standalone room?
You don't see one.
So where we came in,
That's it.
what was like a bricked-in doorway?
It's an archway of worked stone that was. Remember, it had all that rubble and whatnot kind of piled in front of it.
Yep. All right. Well, it's got it piled up in front of it again.
Calavera kind of sighs.
What is wrong, my friend?
I do not know if maybe we should take this with us and use it. This is a spell that I cast in combat. Oh well.
Well, it's reburied again now.
I know where it is if I want it.
I think that any spell is can be used for evil or good intentions.
Exactly.
I'm more concerned with the evil, ooky feeling I got from seeing the symbol that you showed me.
Yes, the chalice could be nothing more than a relic used for evil purpose.
Al's really torn. He's just, if Gears put the rubble back up, um, Al's giving it like a good look and debating whether it's worth it for him to go dig into it now that, oddly enough, Calavera, of all people, seems to be on board with this. She's usually a lot smarter than me, and her and I don't align on a lot of things. So in this situation, when her alignment and me getting to be selfish align, I feel like there's some justification enough for me to do this.
Yours just waves a big finger in front of your face. No.
Also pretty convincing.
Well,
That's
perhaps
a very good argument.
perhaps then we should
a little less.
we should make our way
I was a
then.
little less resolute now.
Perhaps we should make our way then.
Yes. Let us go before I change my mind 4 and 5 times now.
I understand.
I'm always going to think about the chalice that could have been.
The Chalice of Death. Al, how is my goblin?
I swear to God, I was kidding about that.
It was good. Like I say, it took me a second, but I saw it. I was like, those are the command words if I ever need them.
Okay.
I wrote it on my D&D Beyond sheet too. Sure that'll
Yeah,
make sense in
I've
a
got
month.
it. I've got it too, so that's good. That's
it'll make sense in a
fine.
month.
You didn't take it, so okay. Okay.
All right, we're moving on. I'll go to Al and hold out a hand. For Delphi.
Summon Delphi. He's gonna come creeping up, give a little leg rub, and then up into Rue's arms.
Yep.
Okay.
He's gonna try to
Scoop him up.
Well, I better give Caliver a short
toe beat him
rest.
on the nose.
Okay, short
Give
rest.
Rue the little toe bean on the nose.
Short rest. Confirm.
Give him a little head nuzzle.
Okay. So, marching order. Rue, you're anywhere from 30 to 60 feet out front with Delphi, the familiar. Ranvin, Calavera, Al, Gears, Fragili. We still good with that marching order?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, Rue, you continue then to follow the Ichor trail left behind by the zombies. Easy to follow. And you begin to make your way through Excavated Tunnel. You're still in a section that's been excavated. And it crisscrosses a few other natural tunnels. And it goes on this way for several hours. I would assume at some point you might all stop and take a brief, just a quick sit down, maybe a quick bite to eat. As you continue on, you notice, Rue, you're kind of like, wait a minute, where did the trail go?
I will backtrack a little bit and try to find, does it just stop?
You backtrack, and it actually kind of, it does. It just doesn't go forward anymore.
I'm gonna inspect the area where it stops to see if there are markings around
Okay. Roll
that spot. Does it
an
seem
investigation. Does the rest of the party kind of come upon Rue then, looking about?
Yeah, I'd like to give him a hand. Give him
I like to
advantage on
look
it.
too.
Okay.
That sucks.
Can't
That was
see
a
anything.
13.
I got a 21.
Okay. Yeah, with your 21, you notice that it looks like the ichor turns left into the wall. There's like a small cleft of rock into the wall.
Well, there's supposed to be some kind of lift at some point.
I think that was if we went the other way. That was how they used to get there. We just assumed we'd get there by the sink from the sinkhole.
Does the wall look like it's solid? Like tap on it with a short sword. Is it rubble or is it solid stone?
When you tap on it, it slides sideways, almost like a pocket door. And it goes into just a small chamber. Maybe two people at the shoulder could wiggle in here, and just beyond the small chamber, you see a brass cage hanging by a thick chain. And the chain kind of vanishes up into the darkness. If you look, the brass cage appears to be hanging over a very dark shaft that vanishes down into the darkness.
Aha.
There's a large brass lever that sticks out from this kind of complex looking arrangement of gears and pistons inside this cage. And I'd say the cage itself, it's a pretty good sized cage. It's probably 12, 15 feet across diameter, that would be, right?
Gears. Looks like a Ronvin thing to me.
Yep.
Well, can I check it out?
Sure.
Well, I will walk in with her just to watch her back.
Okay. You notice
Definitely appreciates that.
the cage is decorated with these little brass faces depicting sneering gnomes just kind of around the cage, kind of where you picture the flat, almost like an old New York City brownstone sort of lift where the bars of the cage are flat, not round. And here and there where some of the bars mesh together, there's one of these like brass kind of sneering looking gnomish face.
I point to one of the faces. Do you think the artist caught their good side or their bad side?
That's a good question. Do you think this is the contraption that we were told about?
Ronvin, roll an
We were told about an
investigation.
elevator.
Roll an intelligence
told about an
investigation
elevator.
as you inspect the mechanism.
18.
18. Yeah, you're confident that somebody intelligent would have to operate this.
Gears, you're up.
Anybody else investigating anything?
I'd be looking around the room to see if there's anything else of interest in here.
Virgili's just looking around and seeing if there's any way to ride on the outside of the cage going down because she hates cages.
Gotcha. Yeah, the cage is not much smaller than the shaft. You suppose the cage could be lowered and then you could step on top of it, hold on to the chain, and stand upon the cage?
That is what she will do.
How many people can fit in the cage?
All of us.
If it's 15 feet in diameter, it's pretty big.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So all of us except for the conscientious objector.
Can Ronvin see if if she thinks this is safe, or does it look any kind of, that age might have done anything to it?
No, it looks ready to be used. Strangely enough, everything in this place, so far has been cobwebby and dusted over, and metal has been corroded and leather has been dry rotted, and this is. It looks to have been maybe even lubricated. It looks like it's been used. Absolutely. Mechanisms like nobody else, and this is definitely a functioning, usable mechanism. Anybody also looking at the brass cage itself would notice like small pinholes in the mouths of the sneering gnome faces.
Does it look like on the back of the faces or anywhere is it connected? Is it like tubes or is it
No?
Anything that I can see that those holes do anything?
It's tough saying. It's just holes in the faces, in the mouths.
Well, can I get one of my little jeweler tools out and poke one?
Sure.
Okay, but I'm going to stand to the side and move.
Yeah.
So that if something comes out, it's not going to hit me or anybody that's behind it. Like, all right, I'm going to do something here. Move out of the way, just in case. I'm going to try and poke it and see what happens.
Yeah. So you stick the tip of one of your artificer's tools, tinker's tools, into the hole. And as soon as you do that, it fits into the hole.
Okay, so the hole is adjusting. Can I see it moving? Do I hear anything?
No. It fits in the hole. You can just poke your little tool, and it goes in the hole.
Okay, and if I wiggle it, does it catch anything? Is there any gears or anything in there?
No.
I know, I just imagine tiny gears dancing inside the pinhole.
Yeah, like you all see Ronvin, man. She's just like geeking out here. And by your estimation, Ronvin,
probably mumbling underneath her breath.
This is nicely built. I mean, this is excellent craftsmanship.
Fragile, you have the best vision in the dark. Can you see anything down in the shaft? Fragile?
Oh, you were talking to me?
Yeah.
I can look down. Can I see anything? I've got 120-foot vision. I thought you were still talking to Ronvin. I'm sorry.
Have you ever looked into the eyes of an ancient green dragon?
Yeah. I rode one once.
Okay. Yeah, no, you don't see anything.
Okay.
You know that feeling you get when you stare into the eyes of an ancient green
Drinking the
dragon?
cursed chalice was not the worst part of your day.
Yeah. when you suddenly wish for the cursed chalice, yeah. No, you don't see anything. It goes dark, beyond your 120-foot dark vision range.
It's going to be a long ride, guys.
You want to throw something? You want to throw a rock down there?
Because then I might get scared about how long it's going to take to get down.
How tall is the cage?
It's probably 10 feet or so. Yeah. It's tall enough for everyone to get in and stand comfortably.
Well, Runvin, do you know how to operate this?
Do I?
Do you?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. Should I get to roll?
Roll me another intelligence roll.
Just intelligence.
And I'm gonna give you advantage.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's 19.
Okay.
That was the first roll too.
I mean, I don't know what exactly. Describe for me what you're doing besides rolling intelligence. Like, what does it look like while you're trying to determine how this thing works or how to operate it? What do you do?
Well, I'm thinking you would have to see and look up. It's like if I can see what this contraption does. If I can see if it's like gear done, and then I would have to peek inside the cabin and see if there's any controls inside, or
There's
if there's
the
controls on the outside.
yeah, there's the big brass lever on the inside. Um, that's attached to the assemblage of gears and pistons and things that you've been inspecting. There's a big chain
Okay.
atop the, fashioned to the top of the cage itself.
Okay. So, and then you said the chain goes into the ceiling. Is it like a hole? And can I like look up and see if it's going
It
anywhere?
disappears into the dark. It goes beyond your ability to see.
Okay, but it's not, the shaft is not going up. It's just we're at the top part basically, that it can't go any further.
Well, you
up
can't.
because
You don't
the chain
see.
is going up.
You don't see a ceiling. All you see is the chain going
Okay.
up into the darkness of the shaft you're in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we could go up or down. Is there a way to see if the controls let you go up or down, or if there's just one way?
Yeah, it's actually looks like the lever could go in either direction.
Okay. So it basically has three things: up, down, and neutral. Or
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, it's like the lever's kind of sticking straight out. Looks like maybe it could be moved upward or pulled downward.
Okay. And do I see like what's stopping it? Is there like an emergency brake, or what's holding it to the chain?
It's
that not-
attached. No, you can't really. It's just the lever goes into this assemblage, this mechanism of gears and pistons, and yeah.
Okay.
Does the slime trail come in here?
Sure does.
And does it lead into the cage?
Sure does.
Hmm.
Interesting. I don't think those zombies would have been smart enough to do anything with this.
Why you be picking on zombies?
Well, maybe there was somebody with them who was smart
Plus, if the
enough.
lever's too high, is the lever gnomish height?
It's not way up there by any stretch. No, a gnome could easily operate it.
I think 3 gnomes in a trench coat. They can do it.
If you would like, I could try my spell to move the lever back and forth to see if it is safe, if we should get on it, how it works.
We could do that, or we could just get in.
You did notice as you were looking at it, Ronvin, there is a small indentation kind of beside the lever in the metal.
Okay, what does it look like to me?
Like a circular indentation.
Okay. So does it look like, like
Maybe
a symbol,
maybe
like a signet or a key?
Maybe something goes in that indentation, would be your guess. Your mechanical mind sees that and goes, oh, I bet that's like a keyway or something maybe goes into that or fits in it that would operate this.
And can I see what kind of the shape of that is? Is it like a picture, like, a raised face, like on the outside, or is it like
Oh
like
yeah,
a
no,
key
there's
shape,
no
or...
detail like that. It's just a round circular inset that something would press into probably.
Okay. So well, then we can see if Al can move it, because if we don't have whatever goes into that inset, it might not even move.
We found something on these gnome zombies, didn't we?
There were pins.
Pins and cloaks.
All right, I'm gonna try to mage hand it real quick just to see if that whole thing is like necessary. Just I'm just gonna pull it, and I guess if it moves, the second it moves at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet or so, I'm gonna pull it back just to stop it.
So you're getting into the cage?
No. I already drank from Chalice. I'm good for the day.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to get in, in order to operate it, you got to be inside it.
He's using his mage hand to do it.
Oh,
the mage hand.
I missed that part. Okay.
Yeah. And this way I can see if it works with if it needs the key or if it doesn't, and this way everybody can get an idea of what we're doing.
The DM,
like I said, I already drank out of the chalice today.
The DM is
smart
caught
for
up
the
with
rest
you.
of the play.
The DM is caught up with you. I understand what's happening now. Yeah, so you send your mage hand in there because you're too chicken to do it yourself. I get it, and or you don't trust the dungeon master. Whatever. That's cool. I'm down with that.
I don't have mage throat, so I had to drink out of the chalice.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing happens. The hand is unable to move the lever in either or any sort of direction.
I will get out the one of the pins and see if it seems to fit either in that hole or one of the holes in the Nambi. Yeah, now you got me saying Nambi. Thank you. The gnome faces.
Oh, the gnome faces. Those holes are pinholes. In each mouth, those are pinholes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking the pin from the cloak.
Oh, okay.
I was going to send the mage hand over to Rue to pick it up and go back inside.
Okay. The pin itself looks like it would fit perfectly in the indentation.
So hopefully my mage hand is relatively dexterous, but it's going to bumble around and do what it's got to do. We can see this from like outside, right? It's not like we're just blindly fumbling around.
Yeah, I mean you'll have dark vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
we have light.
We're gonna stick it in, and then I'm gonna do the mage hand basic. So I'm gonna stick it in. Something, does it hold? Anything click?
You're sticking the pin in the indentation.
Yeah. If it, you said it looked like it would fit, and we would see that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mage hand that in.
Yep. Yeah, the body of the pin absolutely snaps perfectly into that indentation.
Okay. And then I'm going to do the mage hand test on the lever again to see if it moves. And if it moves 5 or 6 feet, I'm gonna stop it.
Okay. Which way are you moving the lever?
I guess that. You said it's like this kind of orientation?
Looks like an up or down type of situation, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go down.
Okay. Yeah, so the mage hand pulls the lever down, and the cage starts to glide down, and strangely pretty quiet. You can hear that there's a chain passing through a cog somewhere in all of this, but it's amazingly smooth and quiet as the basket or the cage begins to descend.
All right. I'm going to
Bring
it
up
to the neutral direction, and then I guess hopefully back up, because if not, we're all going to be right at the top of this thing.
Yeah, so you move the lever up, it stops, and you move it all the way up, and back up comes the cage.
I'm going to let it go a little bit past like where we found it to see if there's a considerable height it can go up. As well. Same deal though, like 5-6 feet, not let it get away from us.
Yeah, it goes up.
Just to see if up is really a viable direction. It is, okay.
It is.
If you're on the top floor of a building, the elevator still is up, but you can't go in. Okay. So I'm gonna bring it back down to where everybody can see it. It appears to work, and you all heard it. It sounded quite well engineered.
Ronvin, you're really impressed with this. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Yep. Are we ready to go then? Because this is pretty amazing. I want to try it. But are we gonna go down or are we gonna go up?
Rue, what were you saying, buddy?
Never mind.
Okay.
Down?
I don't remember what the dude said, if it was supposed to go down or up. Because we're in the tunnels. So is Violet Falls supposed to be down or is Violet Falls supposed to be up?
I was pretty sure he said down.
Yeah, down. Um, yeah, they talked. The OJ told us about the lifts.
All right.
Gears gets
So-
into the basket.
you guys want, I can put light on the bottom of the bottom of this so that there's light going down, but that would kind of alert people if they can't hear it. Just so you can see what's coming below you.
I'm of the no. Like, let's let the sound be the only problem.
Works for me.
So we're all going to get in the basket except for Julie, I guess. I'll lower the basket enough for her to be able to step onto the roof. Yeah.
Yep.
And then make sure she's okay and pull the lever and down we go.
I'm drawing my short swords.
Fragile.
Acrobatics check every
Yeah.
10 feet.
Roll me a dex save.
13. Dex is +2. 15.
Okay. So as you're standing there, you kind of hang onto the chain because that's all there is. And the chain starts sliding through your hands and you kind of slip a little bit and then you catch yourself and you're able to kind of hand over hand because the chain runs through this mechanism through the basket or through the cage. And so you've kind of seeing how this mechanism kind of pulls itself up and down. The chain is probably stationary. And you've discovered this only because you're outside the basket, hanging onto the chain that is not moving while the basket moves.
But we can see Fragile from inside the
Oh,
cage,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So you see her kind of, whoa, a little bit.
So we're
Moving all right
sliding
up there?
down. We're sliding down a chain.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Chain is
Okay.
passing through the mechanism inside the...
Or enough of the mechanism. I can hold the mechanism.
No, that's the mechanism itself is in the cage. You're holding onto the chain, so you just have to kind of work just like you're going down a rope because the thing you're standing on is lowering and the chain is stationary. If
Okay.
you grab onto the chain, you will be hanging on the chain and it will be far beneath your feet. Make
That's so
sense?
sweet. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm sliding down with it.
Yep. Very well. So, it's not a super fast thing, but you go down maybe 50 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, 200 feet. It's dark. 250, 300 feet down. I'm doing this like time lapse. I'm speeding it up a little bit. 350 feet down, 400.
Fragile is actively looking as we go.
At about 400 feet.
Run rate is like looking too like, all excited.
Okay. Yep. Fragile, you see that as the thing has moved about 400 feet down, that the floor beneath it kind of opens ahead in the distance. So you can tell that this thing is going to come out into some wider cavern or something, opening.
I'll relay that to my colleagues.
And there's kind of a... How do I want to say this? Describe it. Let's see here. There's kind of a glow almost. And you hear... It's hard to say what you hear, but there's a sound. And it's like a blue-green, and then there's tints of violet to this glow. And as the cage lowers almost silently, lower and lower, the bottom of the cage breaks the shaft, slips away, and you're looking out. If you look to the west, which would be facing like if you walked straight into the cage, looking straight out, is the side that is open now, the side of the shaft that's open. And it's a huge cavern. There's a giant black spire that appears to have come up through the floor of this cavern, and it's about 100 feet ceiling to floor as you slowly descend. Kind of across the cavern, if you're at 3 o'clock, let's say at about 10 o'clock, the spire's right in the center. At about 10 o'clock, there's this waterfalls that drops into a chasm, and around it are these violet crystals. And there's this blue-green phosphorescent lichen or moss that's here and there on the cavern walls that are apparently the source of this blue-green dim glow. Immediately to your left, you see 3 or 4 levels of what look like, kind of cliff-dwelling condos, apartments, some kind of small, dwellings, domiciles, maybe 3 stories or so high, maybe 8 or 10 of these little buildings across. At the 12 o'clock position in this cavern, you see this, how do I want to describe it? Kind of these quartz columns that are gold and clear, amber, but you're not sure if it's the quartz that's that color or is the light coming from inside of them. Hard to tell. There's a huge tower with red light shining from the windows. It's like a 40-foot high stalagmite. That's at about the 1 o'clock position, so kind of to your right as you're all looking out. And you just look at this and you're just kind of like, whoa, this is crazy. There's a passage going southward at the 5 o'clock position. There's a passage going southwest at the 7 o'clock position. And there's a passage just beyond the amber crystals going to the north to the 12 o'clock direction. And you definitely hear the waterfall there at 10 o'clock. And it's probably probably a 20-foot wide waterfall, and it might drop about from a big crevasse in the wall. It probably drops It's quite a ways up, actually. In fact, where you are, you can't really see the waterfall. It looks like it's just dropping out of the ceiling along that wall. You can't really see where it's coming from. It's apparently higher up than the ceiling, but there's an opening over there that the water's coming down. And again, you have this really cool. You see these pockets of violet glow. And it looks like they might. There's a bunch of them around the waterfall area, and it looks like they might actually be like crystals, like maybe quartz or something. Pockets of crystals. And as you
at the bottom of the shaft.
What's that?
Oh, sorry.
The last 100 feet,
Right.
when you break through kind of the ceiling of this chamber in the why can't I think of this thing? This cage. You drop about 100 feet, and it stops gently at the floor.
Okay, so there's no more shaft below us.
No. And it is then that you notice there are doors on each side of this cage. The door you entered and had to close behind you, and there's a door facing, you can open it and enter the chamber. And this chamber has got to be 250, 300 feet across. It's irregular, kind of circular-ish. There's more of those apartments, those kind of cliff dwellings on the southern wall, 6 o'clock position. And now that you're lower, you notice around the spire in the center, and it's probably a 30-foot high spire, there's a pool of liquid, black, dark liquid around the base of it. And it's actually, as you look at it, it kind of looks like it's down in a little bit of a cracked and charred sort of depression or crater. Maybe just 10, 15 feet deep at its center point where the spire, this black claw, has poked up.
So is this a Grendel root spire?
It sure looks like it. Yeah, it's
Enclave?
probably 100 feet from you in the center of this cavern, but it sure does look like it. Yeah.
The crystals that give off a glow, do they give off enough glow to illuminate the whole, like the chamber, as if that's a source of light for us to see?
Yeah, it's dim.
is
It's
like-
not
Okay.
it's not bright, but yeah, you could turn off your dark vision and see. But I mean, you can see because that's not how dark vision works. Yeah, you can see. Absolutely. It's dim. It's kind of cool. You know, it's almost like a rave, right? It's kind of got this, luminescent blue-green, and then it's got the violet, and then in the 12 o'clock area, probably 60 by 60, these crystals. And some of them, they go up about 30, 40 feet. Some of them have fallen away. They're broken on the floor. The amberish golden crystals. And then you got that big tower there, that big stalactite. Go ahead.
Virgili, we've seen you take the shape of other creatures. Could you look like a gnome?
Have I seen a gnome recently?
We've seen the zombies. Could you look like one of them?
Oh.
I might be mad.
I can have the same basic arrangement. My gosh. I'm 5'9", so the most, I don't think so. The most I can do is make myself 4'9". And I think gnomes are smaller than that.
Yeah, like 3 feet range.
Yeah, so I would be the world's tallest gnome.
If you could do it, would it be a good idea?
None of the rest of us look like gnomes.
You could all be my prisoners.
Indeed.
Trying for a promotion.
Let's just go exploring.
Yeah, we don't see anything like stirring about, right? It is just the landscape and the cave and stuff. Nothing's moving aside. Okay, well, we won't know because where we are.
Virgilia will reach into her backpack and pull out a set of manacles and kind of wave them at Gears. Come on.
Put them on, you big furry oaf. I don't care what you smell.
Nice.
So here's the thing. I can do it.
You just starts wandering into the town or whatever it is.
I could look.
I'm gonna check out rocks. Not good.
So, Gears, you're wandering off into this cavern a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Cautiously.
what direction? The spire is about 100 feet straight ahead. The edge of the crater that it's in is about 60 feet away. And it's about 40 feet beyond that, down into the center of the crater. And it looks like there's a pool of some kind of dark liquid around the base of that spire. Immediately to your right, once you step out into the room, is this really tall, it's like a 40-foot tall stalagmite, and there's these large plates of what looks like metal floating around this stalagmite. There's red light coming out of the windows.
Orientation.
It's very dark blue stone. So that is immediately to your right.
What's the orientation of the plates? Are they horizontal or vertical?
They're vertical.
Are they sort of shielding this? The vertical?
There's 5 of them, and they're equidistant around. They're probably 15 feet out from the stalagmite itself, and they're equidistant around it. And the flat, they're like thin and wide and tall, right? And they're standing vertically, but they're floating, and their faces are facing either their flat sides are facing in toward the stalagmite and out away from it.
So they're parallel to the ground, flatwise, or are they
No.
on edge?
They're on end. They're vertical.
Okay.
They're on end.
So they're sort of floating around this thing like shields.
They're floating around it.
Gears will poke one
Are you going to go over there?
with their hand. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a big piece of metal. Doesn't really move. It's kind of floating there.
Floating but unmoving. Yeah.
There is
look back at
a
the rest of the party.
there is a doorway.
Oh.
And what's interesting is it looks like it's kind of this graven image of a gnome wizard carved above the doorway, and he's holding a wand, gnome. And it looks like coming from, like flowing out of the wand are these little intricate little patterns that are carved all around the stalagmite. Now that you're close enough to it, you can kind of see this carving above the door.
Algernon, a colleague
I was
of
gonna
yours, is here.
Intrigued and still happy to be alive. Al's going to wander over there and start to take a look at is it like anything like a kind of familiar arcane kind of like pattern? Is this like a story that I would recognize in tableau form?
It's just a pattern of little it's just a little pattern of it. It looks like it's probably meant to give the impression that something is coming from the wand, but there isn't any meaning. They're not tiny little runes, and in fact, when you get close to it, it makes a little less sense. Yeah, when you move away from it, it looks okay. It's something coming from the wand, and it just kind of flows
And
out of
there's
the
just
end of the
one
wand.
gnomish wizard.
Yeah, over the door.
Okay. And the other door, would you say it was like a mirrored on the other side of the room from this? Like in a symmetrical kind of way?
There's not
You say there were
another
2 doors?
door. They are just tunnels that exit this cavern. There's
Okay.
one at about 5 o'clock,
Okay.
one at about 7, and one at about 11.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you have the falls at 10 o'clock.
And then 10 o'clock is the 10. Okay.
And at noon, at 12, is the big pile of these quartz, beautiful, kind of faceted, rough, uncut quartz, gold and white. They're kind of these columns, about 30 feet, maybe more. Looks like they might be fused together
I'm gonna
somehow.
give the door a look.
Okay. It's a door. Nothing, it's the same dark blue stone that the stalagmite is made of.
Is that like a handle or anything, or it's just there's a door and
Yeah, yeah, there's a handle that you would use to pull.
okay. Okay.
Red light
I'm gonna go ahead and
shines
leave
from
that. We
some of the
don't open
windows
that right
above.
now.
Okay. You can open it.
I'm
Julie's
gonna back up again And we're gonna mage hand this thing open. This just seems like a lot of work from a distance.
Yeah, Fragili's gonna have shield and sword ready. Just, it's a door.
Yeah. It's cool. So you use Mage Hand to open the door.
Yes.
Very well.
Yes.
The door opens. Easily. Silently. As if perfectly balanced on a pin. Inside, you see a chamber. It's a tower on the inside of this thing. Let's see, how big is it? Looks like the stalagmite itself has been hollowed out. It's probably 30, 35 feet circular. And there are these stones that float like steps going upward, up the side wall, kind of around, and then they disappear into the ceiling through an opening to what you would assume would be the floor above. And in the center of the floor, it kind of takes you a little by surprise, but it's this huge arachnid, metallic, mechanical.
Oh, hell.
Ronvin.
And it comes to its feet. What languages do we speak?
Yeah, Gears is common, elvish, and dwarvish.
Deep speech and draconic on top of that for Al.
Add celestial and sylvan for Fragili.
Okay.
All y'all covered all of my languages.
And hold on, back to the steps. Are they floating like in the design sense of floating steps, or are they floating as in like Dungeons and Dragons, like floating?
You don't see them affixed to the wall. They're just there in the air.
So,
But they look like stone, like if you you could climb them like steps or stairs.
okay, but they, like I said, in the literal sense of like Dungeons and Dragons, they're floating, not affixed to anything.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Andrew, what languages does Rue speak?
Rue also speaks Goblin and Halfling and Thieves' Cant. Besides
Okay.
those.
So some unintelligible, very guttural, evil sounding, just malice. This thing roars at you and advances. Let's roll initiative.
Yeah.
And Ronvin, I will say that you are kind of like, whoa, that is, if it weren't so horrifying, that is cool as hell. It's this metallic, mechanical spider. Okay, 25 to 20.
Blech.
20 to 15.
17 for
18.
For
One at a
Julie.
time,
Dying to
boys.
Everybody's dying
Al,
to go.
did you say 18?
19.
19. Rue, did you say 16?
Yeah.
Okay. 15 to 10.
and Fragili said.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
already got her.
Fragili said
I already
17.
got her.
Yep.
Okay.
And Runring got 12. I guess she's distracted by the yuckiness.
Oh, I got to roll for kind of.
She does not like spiders.
Okay. And true to form, Calavera will go in the 8 slot.
Tomorrow.
At least we're consistent.
Usually Gears is last with 6.
Gears, you got 6?
Yes, sir.
All right, my dude. Okay. Al, you're first to act. You throw this door open. It's a 10-foot wide door. And I'm just going to kind of have you in, I guess, marching order, except Gears is in front because Gears was the one kind of looking around. So it's going to be Gears, Rue, Ronvin, Calavera, Al, Fragili as we approach the door. Al, it's your go. This thing is big enough you can all see it when the door opens.
I would imagine I can't just close the door and resolve combat and everybody goes home.
It'd be a lot less
Big
fun.
spider. All right. It's obvious got like malice and like it's not impressed. I'm just gonna go ahead and blast it with a magic missile just to say hello.
Okay.
All three of them are going to be
Pew, pew, pew.
at the spider. It's going to be 13 all day
Okay. Pew, pew,
of
pew.
force damage.
Very well. Okay. Anything else?
I don't like this. Now I'm going to feel pretty good about myself.
All right. After Al is Fragile.
All right, so Al's in the doorway, right?
I'm centered with the door, but I use the old mage hand, so I'm a good little bit away from like the actual
And
door.
this thing is in and up,
It's
or is
just
it on ground level?
it's ground level. There were no stairs entering or anything. Everything is all ground level. So you just basically pull this door open, and it came to life and just screamed at you. Something roared at you in some just horrifying. Yeah.
Okay. So I cannot do that because we didn't take a long rest. I'm going to put my hex. I'm going to use my bonus action to hex it. And then I am going to charge in,
Okay.
and I'm going to be casting Green Flame Blade and attacking with my sword. Actually,
What?
I'm just going to attack with my sword.
Yeah, because the hex was actually your bonus action, right?
Yeah, but my action would be Green Flame Blade, and then as part of casting the spell, I get to make my normal sword attack.
Gotcha.
What's my plus? Been a while since I just hit with that. +7. That is a 13 to hit. I'm assuming that probably misses.
It does. Yeah, your sword just clanks against the metal. The legs kind of brush your sword attack. Swipe
Okay.
back.
That is all that I can do. I know that I'm at least up there and in between it and Al.
Okay. Very good. After Fragile comes Rue.
Okay, Rue's going to run in and try to get to the other side of the creature to flank it with Fragile. As he does.
Okay. Yeah, the tower itself is only maybe 35, 40 feet across, so with your movement, you are easily able to flank it, giving yourself advantage on the attack.
Okay. That is it's only a 13 to hit.
That too is deflected, your attack. It just swats it away with a metal spiked arachnid jointed leg. It
All right,
screes
my
again.
offhand attack. Jeez. 17 to hit.
That'll do it.
Okay. It's not nothing, at least.
It's not nothing.
8 points of damage.
Okay.
It's dead, right?
I'm sorry, what?
It's dead, right?
It is not dead.
You sure? You might
I
want
am-
to double check that.
Confident that it is not dead.
Okie doke.
Okay. It's going to attempt to bite you. How cool is that? So you just see it's it's
By you, who
millions
are we
of
talking about?
eyes, Rue, and it's little mandible, hooky, fangy things. Really big. Think like Shelob, only metal.
Nice.
Oh
Nice
yeah!
try.
I mean, that's a natural 20. sorry, I'm not supposed to cheer when I. Oh, yes, I am. I'm the DM.
Yeah, we're gonna make that look like an accident. Totally.
Take 11 plus 3 is 14 damage piercing. Make a DC 11 con save, please.
Oh, he's a rogue. They're immune to poison.
16. I got it.
Okay, take 1 poison damage because I rolled a pair of 1s on my damage die. So.
Okay.
And you are not. Let's see. Yeah, you're not poisoned or anything. Fragile. Let's see here.
Fragile says that if I only get to attack once.
Oh, sorry. I got excited. You are hit by webbing. As it absolutely rolls a d20 on its attack roll, and you are just restrained in a bunch of absolutely the stickiest thing you've ever felt in your life as this thing shoots this webbing at you, and you are restrained. You can...
They don't get to a save?
You can make a strength check at the start of your next turn. No save.
Okay.
It's an attack roll. Okay, we are now to Ronvin. I mean, you just saw this mechanical spider bite one of your dudes and shoot this glorious sticky webbing at another one of your dudes. If you weren't so horrified, you'd be beside yourself with glee.
Yeah. Since it's mechanical, she's a little loath of shooting it with her lightning launcher because she's not sure what it's going to do.
Okay.
So she's going to use her crossbow. Did you see that? Did you see his face? There's going to be no lightning from me because did you see Wiley's face? Aha. He laid a trap for me. Did you see that?
I'm just playing the
You
game.
little butt. Aha! I'm going to use my crossbow.
Okay, I'm just playing the game.
Yeah. You're having too much fun. Yep. And that's a 6.
That's not
She
quite
totally misses.
good enough. Yeah, sorry. Womp, 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 womp.
No, she's probably still distracted and like, I'm not going to shoot that with some lightning. And how the heck does this thing work?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're like kind of torn. Okay. After Ronvin comes Calavera. I think what she would do is sorry. I think she's gonna try to toll the dead. This thing's already been stabbed and poked with things, so she's gonna try to toll the dead, requiring a Wisdom save DC 13. Oh, it rolls a 2. So we're gonna get D12. Make sure we tell Calavera that her toll the dead worked. I believe that's a D12, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Yeah.
So
if it's already been injured.
5 necrotic. Okay, very good. And then she's just going to kind of slip into the room and stay, along the wall, but out of the way of this creature, as Fragile is, wrapped in spider web and Rue is engaged in melee, having recently been bitten. That brings us to Mr. Gears.
Thanks for that update.
Did I mention bitten?
All right. Gears will, with their scimitars out, go ahead and start slashing.
Okay, so you make your way in.
Prime.
Very good.
Yeah. The first attack's with the magic scimitar. Rolled a 20. Natural 20 plus 8 is 28.
Well, a nat 20 is a hit, so that's a crit.
Go.
So do your thing.
All right. So that's 6 die, 6 plus, that's 12, and 2 is 14 damage.
Not going to tell you what to do, but if you apply a superiority die that does damage, that would also be doubled.
True.
That
True.
must be the big thing.
Offhand hit. is a 19 plus 7.
That'll hit.
And the damage on that is 10. No, 11.
Okay. Yeah, it's like you've broken some pieces off. You snapped one of the legs as you just come in there, just hacking away with these scimitars, and it is looking rough. Yeah, it's looking real rough. Top of the order. Hey, Sorrow's Tale, my man. Thank you for the resub. Appreciate that very much. Top of the order is Al.
And you said it's not looking good.
It's not looking great, no.
I'm gonna conserve some spells. I'm gonna let's chill it down and bust out the old Ray of Frost cantrip because it's good for what is here.
It's what
and
I do.
a 10 is not going to get it done.
It is not. I do apologize. Not really.
That's fine. That's what I get for rolling my own dice.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Fragile, you are up.
Julie's pissed off. She's cussing at this thing. How am I going to get all of this crap off of my leather?
And it's in your hair.
Oh,
It's in your eyebrows.
it's in my hair.
Yeah. It's in your mouth.
She
Yeah.
she would like this metallic piece of future scrap metal to make a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Can you do whatever you're doing while restrained? Because you do get to make your strength save first if you wish. Or are you just gonna do it from restrainment?
Does that take my action?
That's a good question.
Does that take my action?
Doesn't
If
say.
it takes my action, I'm going to skip it.
Yep. It does. I see it here. Yep. That takes your action.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Just give me a save.
You sure you don't want to do that for your thing?
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk you into that. Okay, I rolled a 17 on my D20 that just rolled 2 crit hits. That's a good dice right there.
All right. Well, that is 6, 7, and 5. 18. So 18 cut in half. You're going to take 9 points of psychic damage.
Okay. Yeah, you hear it
from my mind spike.
This horrible screeching, squealing sound, and its little pincers are, right in Rue's face. Just clicking away. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, just I might flip it off, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Some very unladylike language coming out of my mouth.
All right, Rue.
Celestial, of course.
In Celestial, yeah. Cursing in Celestial. Rue, you're up, sir.
Well, if it's got those pinchers waving in my face, I'm gonna try to stab past the pinchers and try to get it. That is a 21 to hit.
That hits. Is it safe to assume that you're still flanking?
That is. Yes.
Okay.
20 points of damage.
20. Wow, that's a lot of damage right there.
Nice.
What does it look like when you deactivate this mechanical construct of a giant spider?
Yeah, so with my 2 swords together, I kind of catch the pinchers that it was just wiggling in my face, and I toss them to the side and then come back up into its mouth that just bit me. In case you didn't remember that, it bit me.
It did bite you,
and
yes.
go up into its mouth, and just
Man,
as
you're
far into it as I can jam my swords.
Awfully sensitive about being bitten, aren't we? Okay. All right, that's good. That's fair. I can live with that. So when you do this, you kill this thing, right? The body kind of splits, and this purplish, misty swirl kind of emanates, kind of comes out of this thing. And out of the body steps this squat, short, it's probably got 4 different legs. The body itself is sort of roundish, except right down the middle of it, going vertically, is like a giant maw with all these teeth and spittle dripping, and there's random orange red eyes here and there around the body, and there's these 4 like stumpy legs that have like 4 toes with claws on them, kind of splayed on the floor as this thing steps out and spits. It's got like 3 arms with claws, and it just looks around. Is that the end of your turn? Is that the end of your turn, Ruth?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. That's cool.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous because I think I know what this is, and I don't like it.
It tries to bite you.
Yeah.
And by bite you, it's like the whole body almost separates in half. The mouth is so big, and it tries to glomp down upon you, except it's not a glomp, it's definitely a bite, because now I know what a glomp is. And this thing smells just hideous, foul, rancid, the worst smell of all smells. How about a dirty 20?
Hits.
That's good news. Okay, so this thing latches onto you, bites you, and just starts to tear through your armor, tear at your skin, and you take 17 piercing damage as this thing hammers you, just rips into you. It's almost like
It's not looking so hot.
It's almost like a walking mouth with these weird eyes, and the body is so misshapen. You know, it's got these clawed arms. It's nasty look, just crazy looking thing. Okay, Ronvin, you're up. You just saw Rue get absolutely chomped on by this thing.
All right. How far is Rue away from me?
I'd say probably 15 or so feet. They're kind of in the center of the room. It's Rue. Fragile is still wrapped in the webbing. This creature kind of stepped out of the belly of the spider after all the cool purpley mist. And they're kind of in the center of the room, so probably about 15 feet.
Okay. Can I get to Rue to touch him without getting hit? Getting an attack opportunity
Well,
by the spider?
You can get there, but if you leave there, you're going to get attacked by this thing that just came out of the deceased spider.
Okay. Is there any? Do I know what it is? Can I see what it is?
You don't
Would
know
I
what-
know?
No, you don't know
No
what
clue?
this thing is. No.
Okay. So
No.
can I get like behind Rue so that like Rue is between me and the thing?
I mean, the thing just like bit Rue. It's right there, so you'll be in its melee range. So if you leave there, you will definitely have an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move
But
behind him, and I'm gonna put my my hand on his shoulder, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. And that action will not provoke an attack of opportunity, but it puts you there. Yeah,
Yes.
so go ahead and heal him up. And you get over there, and this thing, it like catches your breath. It smells so bad. And you don't know if it's
It
the
is,
smell coming out of its maw or if it's the creature itself. You could see Rue's blood on its teeth. I mean, this thing's nasty.
That was a shitty D8 roll. Can I actually use my inspiration to re-roll that one?
Sure.
Okay, that's a little better. That's 7 hit points back. And I don't think I have any bonus actions. Nope. Right.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all I can do.
Okay.
Nope.
Calavera's eyes get really big. She's just kind of, at first, just a little bit horrified by what she's just seen. Um, she's just going to step forward and close her eyes. And you see her kind of make a ball in her hands of this bright white light. And then she's going to, kind of do one of these with her hands, and this just beam of incredibly bright white light extends from her hands right into the mouth of this beast, whatever the hell it is. And it fails its saving throw, and so it's going to take some damage as she casts Word of Radiance. And she speaks in a language that I don't think anyone understands. And it's going to take damage. Okay. And it just kind of squeals and spits and sputters. And again, tries some kind of gibberish that you just don't understand. And it is now Gear's turn.
Good. Okay, first attack will be with Magic Scimitar. I'm going to apply a superiority die to, if I hit, I will apply the superiority die to trip it. So we are rolling a, where am I here? Dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits. It's all flesh. There's no armor or anything. It's just like thick skin. It looks like you can almost see its veins and the cords of its muscles. It's kind of this gray. Oh, it's nasty.
Gross. Nasty, gross. Good. So, scimitar cleavage for 13 plus 6 is 19 damage, and it has to make a DC 15 strength saving throw as Gears tries to trip attack.
Yeah, you are successful in tripping it, so I presume that makes it prone. Is that fair?
That seems to be the case, yes.
Okay.
It is knocked prone.
Yep. Anything else?
Second attack, I think I get advantage on my second attack? I'm doing an offhand attack.
I believe that's correct.
Prone.
Yeah.
You're flanking it with your but
Yeah. Okay, that is 25.
That'll hit.
And damage is shit. 8 damage slashing, non-magical this time.
Okay. Yeah, and you've opened up a couple of pretty big gashes on it. And it doesn't bleed red blood, but black ichor starts to run from its wounds as it squeals, and a couple of the eyes look at you, and one of them looks at Rue, which is very disturbing. Very disturbing.
Yes.
Anything else?
Well, as they say, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Okay, we're back to the
That's
top,
it.
Al.
It's still prone, yeah?
It is.
I'm gonna hit it with the big scorching ray at with advantage.
Actually, you're going to be attacking with
Disadvantage for ranged
disadvantage
attack.
because it's prone. It makes it harder to hit because it's on the ground versus standing.
Oh,
So you only get the advantage if you're within 5
okay.
feet or melee.
all right. then at disadvantage, I'm going to have a 12, a 16, a 12, and a 15.
How many? Okay.
Basically, does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit. It's AC 13.
Okay. Then 16 and 15.
Okay. Those will hit.
It's 3. Yeah, it's magic missile. Just I gotta roll for it all. Right. And then it's going to be 13 fire damage on the 2 that connected.
13 fire? Okay. Yeah, so your fire bolts hit and sizzle, but they don't seem to do quite what you'd hoped. You know, it squeals and hisses at it, and one eye looks in your direction. Very disturbing.
I was afraid of that.
Yeah, but it doesn't do, what you'd hoped it would. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp, womp. For Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Julie, knowing that strength is not her forte, and she's probably gonna have to cut her way out of this when all this is done, is going to still attempt to Eldritch Blast this thing. I already have disadvantage, so since I can't have double disadvantage.
Oh, but you can't. No, I'm just kidding. House rule. Disadvantage stacks. A 10 does not hit.
That's actually a 15 versus AC.
15 does hit.
And that's 1 die 10 damage for 7 damage.
Okay.
And that's her turn.
Yeah, and it just, again, it squeals and it's snapping and clawing as it's, being wounded. Go ahead, Rue.
All right, stab. 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's garbage. 11, 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And then offhand, it's even more. 24 to hit
That'll hit.
for another 6 points of damage.
Okay. It's looking pretty rough, man. You guys have opened up. You've burned it. You've slashed and stabbed it. You've blasted it with... is that force damage or Eldritch Blast for Julie? Or is it necrotic? Yes. Force damage, okay. Yeah, so... And this thing's eyes all focus on you, Rue. And again, this thing, its mouth opens, almost splitting it in half, and it tries to bite you again, sensing your pain and suffering. How does a dirty 21 do?
That does it.
Yeah, so you see this thing latch on to Rue as if it's trying to eat it. Eat him. Excuse me, you're not an it, you're a him. Till I get done with you. Then you'll be an it. 12 piercing damage as these just incredibly strong jaws, 4 or 5 inch deep teeth crush through your armor and grip you and rend at your flesh, and you feel this burn and sting from the saliva.
1 hit point left.
Ooh.
And it shakes its head for 1 point of damage. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so you see Rue just kind of almost go helpless. His eyes kind of roll back in his head, and he grits his teeth and keeps his feet. Ronvin.
Okay. How's Rue looking?
Bad.
He's still on his feet?
Barely.
Barely is on his feet.
All right. So, just gonna touch him again and cast Cure Wounds again.
Damn you, healers.
That's 11.
Nice.
That's all she can do. I wanted to blast it, but oh well. I guess I'm the healer today.
Yep. Calavera, seeing this thing is severely injured and it's taken lots of damage, is going to just again put her fingers to her temples, and this thing just hears this incredible tolling of the bell and makes a it gets a negative on its saving throw. 15 on the die. Saves by 1, so nothing happens. Gears.
Yeah. All right. So this thing didn't get back up again, or did it spend half its move to get up?
Oh yeah. I neglected to mention that. It definitely spent its move to stand and try to eat Rue.
All right.
Try doing the operative word.
Magic Scimitar attack. It's a 19 to hit. I assume a 19 hits, yeah?
Yeah.
And we'll do the same thing again. We'll apply a superiority die to the hit. And that's 6, 9, 13 damage, and it has to make a DC 15 strength saving throw.
Well, I can tell you right now, it is no longer on its feet because you've killed it. What does it look like when you end this fell thing?
Its legs get cut out from underneath it, and the scimitar just traces up through its flesh and cuts a gigantic slice through it, emptying its guts out onto the floor.
Yeah.
Bathing Rue partially in some of its ichor.
Yeah, and it just, it makes that slap when it lands on the stone floor of the hollowed out stalagmite tower that you're in, and all grows quiet. So you have this carcass of this thing, you have this mechanical giant spider construct that's been beat to hell. There are 3 large kind of barrels, maybe like wine barrels, in the back. Oh, well, I shouldn't say the back, it's a round room. Across the room from you, kind of beneath where the floating stair steps ascend up into the next level. The ceiling is maybe 10 feet.
Well, we'll search those then and take a look.
Yeah, so the barrels have liquid in them. One is this milky bluish, another one is blood red, and the other one is very, very bright yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, Rue definitely pushes the thing off of him and just sinks to his feet right there.
I assume Calavera will probably be applying some healing.
Yeah, she would do that. Thank you for nudging me on that. So Calavera will come to you and urge you to sit. And she will cure wounds at 2nd level. Go ahead and roll 2d8 plus 3.
Oh, that was crap.
Awesome.
2 and a 1.
Awesome. Yes! Suffer!
Plus 3.
Yeah.
So 6. Woo! Okay.
Would Bronwyn be able to find any shiny or anything interesting for her tinkering with that mechanical spider?
I mean, it's loaded with mechanism, gears. You're just like, wow, what a masterpiece of tinkerment. This thing has been crafted The gears have been beautifully hobbed. Everything's precise. No sharp edges except for where they should be sharp, like the edges of the legs, the point of the legs, the mandible pincer places. They even managed to form the metal into the bloated thorax of the just disgusting spider.
On a thing from 0 to 100%, how much info would that get me towards actually making penny swoops being able to fly?
You'd have to take apart
I'm still
some.
trying to collect.
Yeah, you'd have to take apart some
Yeah.
stuff. It looks like you'd probably have a few hours work disassembling some of the things that make the joints work and the mandibles, pints, and that sort of thing. There's probably
Would I be able to take that stuff with me?
It would take you a few hours to
Because
disassemble parts from it to get anything to take with you.
Okay.
It's
So
one of
I'm gonna
those.
share that with the party.
It's one of those things that's really well made, which makes it really hard to take apart. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I really want to take some of this apart so I can work on learning and making penny swoops fly. And do we have a couple of hours?
Jill flips everyone off as they're going about their business, and she's trying to work a dagger free to cut herself out of the webs and say, "Yeah, sure. You just take your sweet time, Ronvin. I think we've got a little bit of time to spare."
Yeah, that went
Here's
completely
how
over her head. She's
Julie
like,
out of
"Yeah,
the
yes,
web."
all right, let's do this." And you just see her starting to dig in with all kinds of tools, and completely
Here's
didn't
we'll
realize
start
Freshly
pulling-
was sarcastic.
Here's we'll start pulling for Julie out of the web.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to get a good dagger and begin cutting and slicing away at this. This stuff is incredibly sticky. In fact, you can see that there's a pile of it in the body cavity, the thorax, from where this other entity exited. And it almost makes no sense how that thing that attacked you was inside the body of the spider along with all of that webbing. How did that all fit in there? That seems impossible.
Does that mean we could take it and use it as an adhesive?
I mean, you can take some.
It's
It's so sticky, you can cut
Oh.
some off, but then it's stuck on your hand, and you pull it off, and now it's stuck on the other hand, and it's like you need some wax paper or something to deal with this stuff. But yeah, you can.
Yeah, she would definitely want to take some. We can find some way to use this. Maybe I can stick a zombie on the wall or something. That would be hilarious. Like, this is spider duct tape.
Two-faced tape. Gears will also point out these barrels of unusual liquid if anyone has any interest. Al or Ronvin or Calavera. They don't know what it is.
Calavera
If it's oil or
will
grease. They don't care.
look at them. She kind of shrugs. I do not know what these are. What this is? They're beautiful colors.
Well, can somebody? I mean, could we identify them?
Are they magical?
That's why I'm wondering.
I don't say I can find out.
There's above the barrels. There is a set of shelves with various alchemy items, like a mortar and pestle. There's like a workbench. There's some vials. Everything's empty. Everything's kind of dusty, like it hasn't been messed with in a while.
Any labels?
Anything labeled?
Yeah, any labels.
Nothing is labeled.
Of course not. That would make too
Definitely
much sense.
outraged.
Fragili's still over there, like picking bits of webbing out of her hair, cursing some language.
I'm gonna remind her it's for that practical joke in the bar the other day.
Karma.
Karma. Anybody got like alchemist tools that maybe then would have some, knowledge of all of this?
You
Because
said there's
I'm not-
vials like adjacent to it, right? And
Yeah,
each
there's
barrel
shelves
is
and
different?
stuff. Yeah, and each barrel is a different color or fluid liquid in it. They're probably
Uh-huh.
less than half full.
Okay, I'm gonna take one with just like a vial, I guess, lying about. I'm gonna grab a little bit of each one of the contents of the barrels.
Okay.
Just a little
In the same vial altogether?
Mr. 3 different vials, one of each
Okay.
barrel, however much.
Okay.
Mystery barrel juice.
Mystery barrel juice. So you filled one vial, one potion vial with blue, one potion vial with red, and one potion vial with yellow, correct?
Yes. One yellow, one blue, and one red. Let's go to my thing. Okay.
As you're kind of standing there checking things out, looking at things, a movement out of the corner of your eye coming down the stairs catches your attention. Only it's coming in the direction of down the stairs, but it's not using the stairs. It's a like a small thing flying through the air. It kind of has wings. It's made of metal and wood, and it kind of flies down and just flies around the room. It's probably a foot to a foot and a half long, and it's just flying around the room.
Virgilia's gonna throw a dagger at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruru is dropping his short sword and pulling his bow. He's not firing yet, but he's staggering to his feet.
Okay. It in an out of Dungeons and Dragons reference, your characters won't get this, but it looks like an airship. But you don't know what that is. But it's this flying with wings, fixed wings, sort of a long, narrowish body, and it's just flying around the room. Roll a to hit there.
A small version of it, right?
Yeah, it's like maybe a foot long.
How big is it?
Maybe a foot long or so.
Oh.
Sandwich
17. 21.
Okay. Yeah, your dagger sticks in it, and it flies around with the dagger stuck in it. Doesn't seem
Took
doesn't
3 points of piercing damage.
doesn't seem to react to the dagger sticking into it, but it continues to fly about.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
You guys are like, kill it with fire.
Fire, acid.
That's a dirty 20 to hit
Okay.
for 8 points of damage.
What did you shoot it with your bow and arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you managed to take it out of the air, and it breaks into multiple pieces and falls.
London, here is another toy for you.
Repeat that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna point to and tell Ronvin there's something smaller for her to pick up.
Okay, because she was completely not paying attention. So she's looking at you like, what? What? Huh?
Gears will pick up the pieces and hand them to her.
And when I look at them, what does my tinkerer eye see?
It looks like a thing that was just flying a minute ago, and they shot it and killed it.
Okay, so does she think it was flying? It was flying.
It was flying.
So that's what she wants for penny swoops. Okay, so she's totally gonna pack that away, so that she can look at that later.
Okay.
And figure out how it's flying.
Yeah, it's in pieces.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, though, nothing mechanical about it other than it's fashioned from metal and wood.
Yeah. So she will try and figure out how this works because she has to know for penny swoops.
Sure.
If Fragilia's cleaned up enough, she's gonna walk up the stairs while Ronvin is
Yeah.
doing what she's doing and poke her head upstairs and see what she sees. I'd like to try to do it stealthily.
Ears will follow.
Well, there with the stealth.
Clang, clang, shh,
I have stealth.
clang.
Okay.
I have disadvantage at stealth, but I have stealth.
So you go upstairs.
I will follow with them as well with my bow and arrow out.
19
I'm
on the
behind
stealth
you
roll.
always.
Yeah, so the stairs they aren't affixed to the wall, they're just floating there in the air, and you just easily they feel like a solid stone staircase. And you climb the stairs and enter up into the next level. And this room is a wonder of tables and benches and contraptions and oh my, all sorts of things. It's amazing what all is in here. Where do I begin? There's a suit of.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm just talking to myself, going, "Holy crap, Ronvin's never gonna leave."
Yeah, it's all clockwork, mechanisms. You see a bunch of little like underground monsters kind of crawling around here and there, little mechanical. One of them looks like a worm that's all kind of articulated and jointed. There's a couple of they look kind of like giant earwig sort of things. If you're familiar with ankegs, pretty cool stuff there. There's a beautiful suit of gilded chainmail on a stand across the room.
Fragilia's gonna inspect the chainmail. Is it chainmail or is it a chain shirt?
It's chainmail, and it has all these little cool little clockwork components and gears and things in its design around the joints and so forth. Little levers and fittings and things. It looks
I'm trying to
incredible.
look back around.
How big is it?
It's looks gnome sized, actually.
Huh.
The chainmail does?
Yeah, looks pretty small.
So it's dull. It's dull sized.
I'm pretty
I'm gonna-
skinny, you know. Pull it down.
Oh, you're gonna try to put it on?
I'm gonna definitely touch it. I don't know that I'm gonna try and put
Okay.
it on yet. I'm gonna.
Isn't it creepy when the dungeon
I'm
master
gonna-
says that? Oh, you're gonna try to put it on?
Yeah, you know what? I think I will.
What were
I'm
you
gonna
saying?
turn around and call back to Ronvin. You might want to come and see this.
Right. So when Ranvin checks it out, she's over the moon. She's like beaming and oh, this is so amazing. And then she tries to figure out if she can adjust it to herself.
Okay, well, what are you doing with the armor for Geely?
Well, I was gonna see if it fit, but
Okay.
if Ronvin wants it, then that's all her realm of expertise. It looks more like a tinkering thing she would do. I take it.
Yeah, it's definitely got gears and little levers and fittings. And,
Oh, hell yeah!
it's-
I'm not
it's
gonna
all-
put that on.
yeah, it's gilded. It's beautiful, incredible condition. It's got like joints, where the joints are, and little fittings and levers and gears and
Oh yeah, that
clockwork
says,
design.
that
It's
says Ronvin all over.
it's gnome sized. What are you gonna do with it, Ronvin?
Well, I want to see if I can like maybe bastardize it, and maybe like stretch it out, or put parts of it on my armor. Just she totally wants to use it, but right now it's not her size, so she will want to see if she can jiggy rig it.
You rig it?
Yeah, no, MacGyver it. You know what I mean? Incorporate it.
So are you trying to put it on, or what?
You know what? That's a trick question.
There's nothing to adjust on it. I mean, you can move some gears and stuff, but the gears and everything, it looks like that's just what helps it bend and move. and it moves like incredibly easily. You know how armor's kind of scrapes and grinds and pinches if you're not careful, and this is just like wow.
Al, is this magical?
It's almost like mechanical armor.
Is this cursed? Before I put this on or try and put this on.
We drink out of it first. I guess with all the commotion, Al's been messing around with like the barrels and curious about that. I'm gonna go upstairs with everybody else, and I guess go ahead and throw down a detect magic in the I get what is this, like a workshop, I guess?
Yeah, it's an area with tables, benches, shelves, tools, bits, parts, gears, contraptions, you name it. You see, when you get up there, you see these little mechanical monsters kind of walking around harmlessly but effortlessly. So you're gonna cast. What's that?
If I pick one of the little things up and look at it, I can tell that it's mechanical and not arcane.
It looks to be moving mechanically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still gonna throw down detect magic just to, I guess, discern what's mechanical and what's magical in the workshop.
Okay. So the suit of armor.
Hey,
Yes.
before you get into that long description, are there any other entrances or exits to this room?
No, they're not.
Okay. Then Rue's gonna go back down the stairs and keep watch
Okay.
with his bow out. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So detect magic. The armor, the chainmail, gives off a strong school of abjuration magic.
That's what kind of magic?
Protection.
Protection.
Protection, defense.
Protection.
There's a there's this cool like globe that has this lit liquid inside of it. It's like and if you look at it, it's actually, it kind of gives off light, kind of like a torch would. And it's affixed to a set of mechanical spider legs. And that gives off, I think, probably enchantment. Is that a school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. There's a harpoon-looking mechanism that looks kind of half put together. It's pretty large. Doesn't look like it would function. It's got a lot of tubes and stuff, and part of it's rusted. There's a it looks like a cooking plate on one of the tables. And it kind of gives off this the emanates the transmutation magic. There's a black globe that is shining light on the far wall that looks like space, like a constellation. And there's this orb kind of floating, almost making it look like it's in that space, like it's a planet. And you could get maybe illusion from that. There is looks like a vial with a stopper with a kind of a gray viscous liquid in it. Bear with me.
As I see these things, I'm pointing them out and explaining them to the group. Like I said, pointing it to it, and like I said, what school of magic so far?
I would say maybe that has conjuration. I'm not sure on that one. Your vials give off very, very, very faint flickers of divination magic.
Ooh, hey now.
Very like they flicker and then they don't, and then they do and they don't. One does and then another one does and then they don't, and that kind of thing. Um,
The constellations that are it's what, like a projector almost, like it's
almost, yeah, but
projecting.
it's like an illusion of space, the universe, constellations. Yeah.
Are the constellations one that I would recognize as being familiar to Faerun?
Go ahead and
Is anything?
roll an intelligence. Thinking
Let's look
back to
at
your
it.
lessons.
Just like in college, I did not pay attention in astronomy. I got a 10.
Yeah, you don't really recognize. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, it looks like you're looking at, the nightly heavens, and you see stars, and you see things arranged, like some constellations, but you don't recognize anything.
I don't see 4 stars and see a heroic epic battle with those
Right.
4 stars.
That's correct. There's also a crystal scroll tube laying on one of the tables.
Ooh. I'm going to mosey on over to that thing and see what's going on in there.
Yeah, it's this beautiful. I mean, it's really nice. Crystal scroll tube. That's probably worth some coin. And in it appears to be a scroll.
Does it look? So it's like a tube, and then what? Things.
Yeah,
on
there's
the
like a
ends
cap
to
on
keep
the
it
end. Yeah.
secure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and mage hand that open and like pick up one end so I can spill the scroll
Sure.
out onto the table.
Yeah, and you get a strong sense of transmutation magic, and it looks like you've discovered or found a spell scroll.
I'm gonna go mage hand it over and pick it up and take a look at it.
Yeah, it's meld into stone.
Ooh. Where's my post-it notes? Sweet.
Ronvin, what we doing with that armor?
So before she puts it on, she's going to look around and see if she sees any blueprints or I don't even know, schematas or however they
Sure.
call that.
Yeah, there are definitely tubes with all kind of little schematics and prints for various clockwork items and things of that nature. Sure, yeah.
Okay. She wants to take not the tubes, but as many as the papers as she can, and like cram them in one tube.
Yep.
And so she can look at them later,
Yeah.
and then she will totally be so excited. She's going to try and fit in that armor, or see if she can cannibalize it
Okay.
and wear
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, so you try to put on this chainmail, and as you do, it actually expands and slides on quite comfortably. And now you're wearing this really ass-kicking looking suit of chainmail.
You can see Unrun be like, check it out. Can I do in the little dance? Check it out. It fits.
Yeah, and you move your
I
limbs and
totally want the
stuff.
stats on that.
And as you're putting it on, you can see some of those little gears and things enabling it to expand to fit you. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's one of those things that it'll only expand certain directions, the certain way, the right way, and by donning the armor, that's
kind of like a telescope.
That's what enables it. Sort of. That's what enables it to kind of expand for you, and it fits you.
Or like one
a
of these
glove.
cups that you can pull up. That's like flat, or then you can pull it into a cup.
Sort of.
Stuff like that.
Sort of. Yeah. If you've ever seen one of those plastic balls that's made of arms and joints, and you can collapse it down real small, or you can stretch it out real big.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it's really nice armor. Yeah.
Cool. All right. How do I put that on my sheet?
Let's call it chainmail +1.
Okay.
And it's just really bitchin' looking. It's just this mechanical looking, cool, very shiny, little gears and levers and clockwork assemblages around the and you move around it, and it is the most comfortable armor. So anything that, how chainmail, it's a heavy armor, so it's gonna count against your stealth. Not this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It does not. So
Yeah, well,
note that in your
is
notes. It does
does it
not.
look like it has any special resistance or something? Something because you said it was like
Well, that's the +1.
feeling like
That's the
That's a
the
+1.
abjuration is the +1 bonus to AC. Yep. So it's chain +1, but it doesn't give you the stealth penalties. Um,
So I have the same armor class now, but you know,
but you look a lot cooler.
so I yeah, and it's 10 pounds lighter than the splint.
Yeah. There's
So
also a
I'm gonna
velvet.
put that down.
There's also a velvet pouch, like a little bag laying on one of the tables.
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, Al, can you mage hand this pouch open for me, just in case?
Yeah. What, like a drawstring on the top?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
keep it closed?
Yep.
Just gonna pull the drawstring and I guess pick it up and dump the contents straight out onto the table.
Okay. It has 6 seeds, kind of good-sized seeds. You know, by good-sized I mean kind of like that. And it's giving off evocation magic.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna hand one to everybody.
It's like an
Just
acorn
seems
size,
like
maybe, made of brass.
I do not know what this does yet, but it may be helpful. I feel like we should all take one just in case.
I'm not in the room.
I'll always hold on to Rue's since we room together. I'll grab one for Rue, give Calavera hers, and then to everybody who's upstairs. Let them decide if they want one.
Ronvin, you have yours? It's actually, I misspoke. It does not give off the evocation magic. Ronvin, you roll me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
These are little brass. It looks like an acorn almost.
Oh. That was in that one.
Okay.
But can I identify it?
Not on a nat one.
If
Yeah.
it gives off magic,
No, it doesn't give. I've told you I
well,
misspoke.
because
I misspoke. It does not give off
because if it has
magic.
no magic. Okay. Good. So, yeah, no. She's still so excited about her armor that she's like, what? Maybe Calavera knows.
Yeah, she's never seen anything like this. Just a little brass, kind of acorn-sized little ball. Okay. And you've got that.
She's
that
pocketing it, and maybe she can check on it later.
You've got that vial of liquid up there. You've got that cooking plate thing.
If Fragile wants any of that stuff.
You have the little mechanical monsters walking around.
Fragile has no interest in little mechanical monsters because they're not ravens.
They're not.
There was some kind of cooking thing. That's really not her jam either. So she would probably. There's a black globe with a floating orb. I don't know if Al has that or not.
The black globe, it kind of shines this light. You could, like display it on a wall or a ceiling.
I'll look at it as just like a projector, not inherently magic itself. Whether that's right or wrong, that I just if it's projecting this thing on the wall, I feel like that's its magical effect is whatever that thing's trying to show us that we're probably just ignoring the hell out of. That's the thing, not the actual item that makes the projection.
Well,
the
how big is it?
The ball?
Yeah, how big is the globe?
You could hold it in your hands. It's not real big. Smaller than a basketball, smaller than a volleyball.
If nothing else, Fragile might grab that just because it would be a keepsake.
Okay.
And we might need that map.
Hey, well, that's true too. But she nothing in here really holds her interest. So she's like, if you want to hold it, you can, Al. She says, otherwise, I'll put it in my backpack and
There is
pull it out later in case it's something we need.
that was all the magic stuff. There are also a lot of various piles of gears and parts and pieces, and there is some curious pile of stuff on one of the far tables that did not glow or anything like that. When because you were kind of scanning the room with your detect magic.
Is it stick out? It's just like what, like a piece of something we haven't looked at?
Yeah, it's just another largish looking contraption-y thing laying on one of the far tables.
I'm gonna get Rhonda's attention and see if that'd be something she'd be interested in.
Yours will go over and poke it.
So Rhonda turns around because Al's calling her, and the first thing she sees is Gears with a finger, and she's like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, so there's looks like
So what
another.
happens when you pokes it?
It moves because you poked a bunch of metal and clockwork, gears, contraption-y stuff. Yeah, it looks like there's some kind of contraption on the table. You
Gears recognizes.
you see what looks like a crossbow launcher mechanism and some strapping. You see, if you kind of stretch it out on the I'm not sure what you're doing with it, so you got to give me something to work on there. That's what you see when you poke
weapon,
it. Yeah.
They'll start taking into it with more interest if it's a weapon.
Yeah, it definitely has like a crossbow mechanism on it. So as you start to kind of unpile it, it looks like it could be worn or mounted on something, maybe on your shoulders.
You've seen those before.
There's strapping and stuff. It looks like it might be like a harness whereby you could mount this crossbow. Okay. It has a place where you could put, I don't know, maybe 20 bolts would lay in there, and it looks like they might feed the crossbow. Yeah, you've seen stuff like this.
Are there bolts around to
fit
into it?
There's a few laying around on the table, yeah.
Gears will load them up.
Yep.
And start strapping in as though they actually knew what they were doing.
Okay.
Because they have seen this type of thing before.
Yeah.
So they're very curious as to whether or not it will work the same way.
Yeah, it's you get it all on, and you see Gears is now standing there with this harnessy strap thing. It looks a little cattywampus. It's not perfectly, but sure enough, there's like a crossbow mechanism right on the right shoulder, facing forward, and it looks like crossbow bolts can feed into that thing. And it can be fired with a trigger, like a hand trigger.
Yours is happy. They'll take a practice shot with it to see if they can make it work the way they want it to.
Yeah, it doesn't take you long at all to figure out how to operate this thing. We're going to call it, while it is non-magical, it does give you +1 to hit and damage from the force it generates. And the bolts actually self-load, so it's an action to shoot it.
That's... So it's like the Winchester repeater of crossbows.
Sort of something like that. Yeah, it's not quite that fast, but yeah. It's a shoulder mount crossbow.
This is non-magical +1 to hit and damage?
Yep. Yeah, because it's not. It's +1 to hit and damage because the force it generates. you're kind of like, oh, when the first couple times you fire it, you're like, holy smokes. You know, that's got some stank on it.
What class of crossbow is it? Is it hand, light?
It would be light.
Heavy?
Yeah, it's a light crossbow.
Hey, Scott.
Yep.
While they are all investigating and playing with the toys and things, do I see the trail of ichor that we've been following for days?
Not in this tower.
I'm gonna. Did we see it back by the elevator
Nobody mentioned that.
when we came down?
It was in the
I'm gonna
elevator.
Go back by the elevator.
Okay. Yeah, you
I'm gonna
see
go back by the elevator and just.
you see trails all over the place on the grounds here, on the floor of this cavern.
Okay.
It's obvious that many of those creatures have traversed the cavern at one point or another.
But not in the tower.
Not in this tower, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. I'm gonna come back to the stairs then.
Okay. And it is getting on into the evening. You know, you spent several hours after the incident with the skeletons and the chalice. And I think this will be a nice place to end our session. It's 10:30, so yeah. So you found a lot of contraptions. Ronvin, we're going to say you scored like 10 sets of drawings for various clockwork items.
Okay.
We can sort through that later.
All right.
You got the chain +1, which is magical. You have the mechanical self-loading crossbow gears. And then you guys grabbed the rest of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
The potion, the cooking plate thing, the little bag. You guys divvied up those little... yeah.
Did she find any gems or anything that she would like to use to make like stuff enhanced? You know, she likes to use gems when she like gives people like armor enhancements and stuff.
Yeah, no, there's no treasure, classic treasure. There's no coin or gems in this area.
Is there any books or any journals or any hint on who this place belonged to? Because it must have been a really, really great artificer.
I mean,
there's a whole bunch of scrolls, but
yeah, there's all the different drawings and things. There was the that graven carved image over the door of a gnome wizard wielding a wand, but there's no. There were some scrolls and books down near the alchemical supplies.
okay.
They weren't magic or anything. Just
Yeah,
information.
because normally she would think that somebody like that would keep notes on experience and what they're doing.
Yep.
And if she can, she would like to take a rubbing of that wizard. And if it's too high, she's gonna ask Gears for help.
Yeah, Gears could get you up there, and you could get a. It's a life-size gnome, so you're gonna need a big piece of paper to get a rubbing off of that.
Maybe is there some kind of fabric in here, like a blanket or like any that we could use for that?
I don't know how you'd get a rubbing on fabric. That's kind of.
Hold it tight.
Say you have to hold it real taut.
Or like an empty scroll that she can use or something. I don't know. If it's that big,
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's a 3 foot high. It's a life-size gnome
Yeah.
reaching out.
Well, else if I have something big enough, I just want to do the face.
Okay. Yeah, you could use a scroll to capture the face easily enough. So you could do that with some charcoal or whatever.
Okay.
Chalk.
Yeah, and then if there's anything that looks like a journal or a notebook, she wants to grab that too.
Yeah, it's all
And just
mostly
pocket
just
it for later.
notes about the contraptions and things and the wonders. All right, well let's wrap right there. So you've explored the Tower of Spectacles. Very nice.
Spectacular.
Spectacular. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. I got a pug that needs to be taken outdoors, so better get to that. Let's go ladies first, Ronvin, then Fragile.
Hi, I'm Vivacia or Vivi, and I'm playing Ronvin the Artificer. She was totally geeked out today. Um, Online, you can find me on Discord as Vivacia, on Twitch as Vivacia. Not that I've been doing much aside from hanging, with my RPG dudes. And on the Twitter, it's Miss Vivacia, MRS Vivacia, where I tweet various things. Not really important stuff, I guess, but various things.
Nice. All right, Fragile.
Yeah, I am Buckethead Clunk on my social media. I don't do too much social media besides anger some of my friends with inappropriate comments. And I play a local game. We play a little bit of Cormier and a little bit of spell jamming. And Fragile had a pretty good time tonight, minus getting webbed. I'm still trying to get all that crap out of her hair.
Yeah, you're going to be fighting with that for a little while. That's a mess. But hey, you're still effective in combat.
Prestidigitation. Somebody's got prestidigitation around here.
I do.
Surely
Right
somebody
up.
does. Doesn't work on magical webs. No, I'm just kidding. Does not work on gum. Rue.
Everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables, Fellowship OTT on Twitter. Not really doing a whole lot online right now. Just got a couple of side games going, but nothing streamed.
Very well. Algernon.
Hi, I'm Manny. At Growed Up Geek on the social medias. I was like, I'm online playing a lot. Tomorrow night, I run my Twilight Malediction, my Fire of the Frostmaid campaign.
It's a cool game.
On the Growed Up Geek Twitch channel. This Sunday, tentatively on this channel right here, 1 p.m., we perhaps are hearing the homebrew Greyhawk show that we've been working on for a while, which I will be dungeon mastering. And then Monday, I'm obviously here with these fabulous people who I adore.
Oh, it's nice. And sadly, Calavera was unable to join us. Gears, you'll wrap us up, sir.
Hi, I'm Dave. Hey Wilson on the social medias. You'll find me here Monday nights playing D&D with these wonderful people. Sorely missing our missing member, but life happens. And I will also be here on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. playing another game DM'd by our beloved Wily Hobbit. And that will be Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, where we are crossing swords with a white dragon, which is always fun when you're running around at 4th level. And other than that, I do play a regular Saturday game non-streamed, and Fridays when my friends who also have lives, one of them's expecting a baby.
Ooh, nice.
So she's actually stepped away from the campaign, but because apparently growing an embryonic entity in your gut does bad things to your stomach.
Apparently.
I wouldn't know.
All right, sir.
But that's happening. And that's it for me.
Life Things. And I'm your host and Dungeon Master, Wily Hobbit. So, yeah, we won't be able to play this Wednesday. So check us out on Sunday. Manny's going to be DMing us in the world of Greyhawk. So super stoked about that. Got a new Greyhawk game starting up on Sunday at 1 p.m. Greyhawk Lives. So looking forward to that kicking off this weekend. And then Monday, Wednesday is our Forgotten Realms games. So Yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we sure appreciate everybody. We're gonna raid into my friend Lindy. Laugh Love Lindy. They're playing D&D over on her channel, so I'm gonna get her raid going. So hang on just a second and say hey to Lindy, and we will see you all with this game next Monday as the characters continue to explore what appears to be Violet Falls. See ya.